today I would like to share with you something that is both practical, but it's also very spiritual, which you'll probably appreciate. This is the practice of listening to your inner wisdom. So the first thing you want to do, man, with this is you want to notice that you have something within you. You have like a resource that feels different to your mind. What this is what I would call inner wisdom. When you really get quiet within yourself and you really start to do a lot of the spiritual work and you meditate and you contemplate and you are with yourself, you develop a relationship with spirit. When you feel spirit within you, you also notice that you have wisdom. It's like you're in touch with this part of yourself that just knows things. It's your wisdom, it's your intuition. Really what you want to do, man, the goal is to like become an extension of it. Because you can source it by just going within and by, raising consciousness, by meditating. But where it becomes fun is where you start to become like this vessel or this like vehicle. You're an instrument of the wisdom. But what's really cool about it, man, is you always know the answer. You always know the truth. Because this part of you, it's beyond your mind. And it's connected to pure truth. And not even relative truth, absolute truth. But it helps you source relative truth as well. So sometimes, man, like when I'm speaking to someone and then like maybe I say something and I'm like, oh, I guess I kind of made a point there, but I didn't really that wasn't really what I meant to say. So then I go back into my inner wisdom and I kind of say again what I wanted to say. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was right. Why? Because I'm speaking from spirit. I'm speaking from wisdom. You know what's interesting about this, man, as well, is that when we're growing up, we don't have people educate us on this. No one tells you that you have this resource, this infinite reservoir of wisdom, and also, to be honest with you, man, it takes some years to unlock it. It takes time, dude, I can definitely think about when I was in my early teenagers, I wasn't connected to this inner wisdom. Now, retrospectively, I can see that it was there in the background, but just very, very quiet. And at times I would kind of use it, but really I was a ignorant asshole. I was a fool. And, I forgive myself for being so foolish to the best that I can. I do forgive myself, man. But I never really knew about this thing called wisdom. I never really knew that it existed. When you become aware of it and in tune with it, you look back and you're like, oh, right, I had wisdom then, but I just didn't feel it. And that's the thing, man. So notice, for something to be real for you, you have to feel it. It has to be in your experience. There's a lovely phrase that is, God is always hiding something from you, right? So imagine, you don't need to imagine anything. Use your experience right now and notice that you're a human being, right? But also notice that there's loads of things that are true in the universe, but they are hidden from you. And I want you to notice that you can know this stuff just by using your wisdom. Also, man, another application of your inner wisdom could be in spaces such as coaching or therapy. And the reason this is because what you realize if you do a bunch of coaching and therapy, you realize you are there to get answers for yourself, but you've got this person in front of you to hold space, to reflect and to do other things. But ultimately it's you, right? It's a very deep existential truth about just being alive. You got to take care of you got to take responsibility of you. And where it starts to become cool is you start to connect to your inner wisdom. You start to be able to pull from it. And now, this thing called therapy or coaching or whatever you're doing, whatever ways you're investing in yourself, it now really works. Because the best sessions are those that you really get it, right? But imagine you already get it before your space holder is even doing anything for you. You really are just in touch with it. Another way of putting it is you become your own coach, your own therapist, and your own source of answers. So you gain independence when it comes to like figuring your stuff out. You know, you won't really need a coach, or you won't really need, I mean, I recommend you get therapy, to be honest, but you start to realize like everything you need is within you. Everything that you could want or need is, it's in your wisdom. But the brilliant thing about like coaches and therapists and other people like that is they just help you train going to it and listening to it and seeing beyond your mind and feeding into what's true, and also just, authentically getting yourself. Because I talk about inner wisdom, but for me, man, the only reason I can feel my wisdom these days is because I first met myself where I'm at, like authentically. So I first found myself. It's this: you got to find personal truth before you can find spiritual truth. Go to yourself, man. Figure yourself out. But then when you're like really starting to figure yourself out, you're really starting to take personal development work seriously, you take on the spiritual dimension of this work and you begin to use that. And wow, when you have this spiritual truth, it's like it helps you feel personal truth, because you'll feel your personal truth to a degree, to an extent. But then when you tune into spiritual wisdom as well, you'll start to see like a lot more. So you'll realize so much more about yourself, your person, your ego, who you are on that personal relative level. It's a game changer, It's strange, man. Like if I speak to people these days who I used to speak to maybe a couple of years ago, it's so interesting, man, because like I've gone through so many different shifts and transformations and awakenings, like just purely on the personal level, not even the spiritual stuff. And I'm like, wow. And my wisdom silently tells me, like, look at the work you've done on yourself. Insight comes when you're silent. So that's another component of this. If you can, try and be silent, like more often, because you will definitely feel this inner wisdom way more. I suppose the goal is to fully become your inner wisdom such that you're embodying it. You are just it. It is you. Now, to be honest with you, I also want to say, like, it's important to recognize the parts of you that aren't wise, Like in doing therapy work these days, man, like, I'm trying to tune into my inner child. I'm trying to tune into the immature parts of myself, the less developed parts of myself, the fearful parts of myself, the anxious parts of myself. My wisdom tells me to go to these parts of myself, and I feel them and I'm in them. But before I was actually listening to my inner wisdom, I would avoid those parts because my mind would say, oh no, that's not safe, that's not, wise, that's not conscious, that's not spiritual. No. The more conscious I become, the more I'm cool with being a baby, or being terrified, or being fearful. This is what happens. And again, it's all guided by your inner wisdom. In a certain sense, you're not doing anything. You're just guided. Okay, man. My final thing I would like to share with you is, if you would like any support whatsoever with tuning into your own inner wisdom and becoming it fully for yourself, I do offer coaching and mentoring where I can help you actualize it so it's actually real for you. If that's interesting to you, man, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, you can see the link in the description and you can book a free call with me. Otherwise, man, good luck with your spiritual work and your embodiment work. Yeah, dude, it's hard. It takes ages. But eventually you get rewarded and it becomes clearer and easier. So, good luck, man. See you soon. And, scratch that, man. Let me do my normal outro. My friend, lots of love. Take care. And as always, man, peace.